are listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Goof On Radio.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Goof On Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You are listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
All right. Welcome to Goof On, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. It is Tuesday, 10/10/23. It's a nice round number, 10/10/23. How are we? Well, we're basically halfway through the week. My 9-to-5ers, don't get down. You should be happy. It's almost hump day and it's almost Friday, which is the weekend, which leads into MMA and football and hockey and baseball. Everything's running perfectly in the sports world. That's right. We just need basketball to join us in a few weeks. Yes, and then we'll have everybody playing at the same time. Just like ufology. You see? You see what you did? You see? Why? Why am I doing this? I said I would never. I don't want to talk about Bob Lazar. There's other things we can talk about, so we're going to. But we're going to talk about Bob. I don't think Bob's a nice guy. I don't think he's exactly what we think he is. I think Bob is a plant. Bob is a psyop. Bob, I know what you're going to say, Rich. 35 years, the guy laid dormant. He didn't want any publicity, but here he is. Here he is. Funny how times have changed. Oh, in the throes of the ufology world, in all the excitement with the congressional hearings, the Peru attacks, 8 to 10 foot tall aliens in Vegas, and he's not real happening worldwide. Orbs and dots, oh my, why not bring out this guy? He had some credibility, we saw, till Jeremy Corbell made a movie, showed him raw, foot. Anyway, well, all I'm going to do tonight, this isn't a Bob Lazar attack. All this is to show you he's bullshit. He's not real. You understand? And I have now, wow, I don't know what I woke up with today, but I feel like the whole thing is just a joke. I really do. A lot of people coming around saying they have evidence, but they're not going to show us anything, James Fox. He's got this incredible evidence, guys, but he's going to hold on to it till he makes his movie. Then you got to pay for it. Corbell does the same thing. I've got something magnificent coming out. You won't be able to explain it. People are wondering how and where this came from. A week later, he puts out, a drone or a blimp. That's the next thing we should be seeing from Corbell soon. He should be dropping some turd soon. What? Oh, let's do a little bit of roll call, shall we? Welcome to Goof On. Everybody say? Alien Girl, Amy, Star Child, Morning Coffee and UFOs. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Jeff Gavi. What do you say, Jeff? Welcome to the show. Glenn Collins, Big Band Man. How you doing, Chief? Sapphire Elf. The Big E is here. Easy on the eyes. What do you say, Bob Berkins? Because two B's are better than one. And I don't mean boobies. Kelly Lewis. Welcome to the show. Willie Trumpold. How you doing, man? Good to see you here. Welcome. David Wilcox, not Wilcock, a veteran of the sorts. Welcome to the show, Chief. AVFC 666. Welcome to the show. Oh, yeah. Hey, Martin. Hi, everybody. What do you say, Martin? And what do we got? Jeanette Angel throwing down a 2-pound, 2 quid super sticker. Right at the beginning of the show, Jeanette, the angel of Goof On, mucho gusto generoso, and a continuing supporter of Goof On. We got to change it up. I don't like knowing all that. It's just coming out too easily. Thank you, Jeanette. You are the angel of Goof On. Thank you for your continuing support. That's fantastic. I don't know what I was going to say, Jeanette. Welcome to the show. Stephen Kahn. Hey, man, a 5-pound, 5 quid super chat. And he says, hey, guys, I've got out of the Glenbourne unit, which is our mental facilities here in Southwest UK. I'm on the mend and just want to say thanks. Everyone loves you. That is awesome. Yeah, man. Thank you for that. And everybody loves you, bro. I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're doing you. I can't be put in those shoes. But I'm glad you're doing okay, man. Thanks for reaching out and supporting the show. Letting everybody know. Good deal. Stephen Kahn. Throwing it down with vigor and a lot of courtesy. The Angel, the boss. We got them all. Diane Boss, the boss of Goof On. Terrestrial Material. What do you say there, Chief? Huh? What do you say, MR? Welcome to the show. AZ Man, welcome to the Flubber Lane, everybody. Welcome to the Rachel Ann. Hey, Don Mofo. Broke my phone, so using Rachel's. Okay, hey, Don Mofo, Rachel Ann, everybody is Don Mofo. And we'll keep it in the M's with Moonlicked, everybody. What do you say, Moon? Welcome to the show. And if I didn't say your name, it doesn't mean I don't love you. It means we got to get going. I'm trying to keep this to 7:15 start. I don't want to roll into the 20s. Bappity-bappity-bop. I tend to do that. So let's roll. We got a good one tonight. I say that every show, and it turns out I got a great one every night. I don't know where they come from. Don't forget, Terrestrial Material 7 p.m. Saturday nights. And then right after that, at 10, you got Nathan at the Quantum Show. So you get an hour break. You can, if you were late to terrestrial material, you can watch it. I go on at 5s now on 5 on Saturday. And then you could roll into terrestrial material. That's what we're doing. And Amy in the morning, me at night. We got the bookends of 7A, 7P. It's good. Yeah, everything's going good. We've got subscribers coming in. I can't believe, I don't know where they came from, but thank you for the new subs. A couple of new members. I'll mention who you are in a little bit. Can't believe, business as usual, right? Ufology tends to treat you good, treat you well, I should say, when you do things well. Wait. No. Well, you know what I'm trying to say? All that we show, all that's going on with the King milk fart and all that drama stuff, I don't know, but I feel like we're beyond it. I feel like we've been there and did that for too long, 10 years too long. I don't want to go that route anymore. I want to do what we're doing, just talk, teach, and terrestrialize. I just needed another T. AZ Man throwing down a £2, £2. Super dono. It's pure love. Any denomination is huge. Goes right to the centerpiece of my heart. I don't know what to say. AZ Man going for the throat. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And you have been here for a while too. In 9 days will be GoofOn's 4-year anniversary. And AZ Man, you've been here for at least half of that I remember, maybe longer. Thank you for being around, supporting the show. Mucho gusto generoso, my friend. Appreciate that. You can help support GoofOn the same way. That's how we thrive, survive, and live, through you, through your support and belief in a like-minded person, such as myself, telling you things that nobody else will tell you. At least not when I do. People wind up coming around like a year later or 6 months later. Like when I talked all that stuff about Lou before anybody did. You're an asshole, you're a jerk. And now everybody sees that maybe I wasn't such a jerk after all. The sad thing is the egos in this field won't allow them to come back and to say hi and you know what I mean? And just join in with GoofOn and just have some fun. All right. We do it differently here. I get it. This is a place not everybody's going to enjoy. And it might take you a couple of times to get used to it. Just like the CE5. If you don't get any contacts in the first 6 tries, keep trying. You might like it after all. That's what Greer says. All right. I'm going to play a few clips. These are good. But I have to do what I do. And we do the daily reminder here. Just so you know, Lou Elizondo never cared about disclosure. He is the leader of the liars. A lying Lou, as I like to call him.
Ironically enough, to finish the very mission they gave me in the first place. I didn't ask for it. I'm not a UFO guy, not a ufologist. I never have been, I never will be. I'm a counterterrorism and counterespionage guy. I do counterintelligence, counterinsurgencies. That's what I do. And it just so happens that in 2008, I was asked to apply those same skill sets into the UFO community.
You know, that goes back to what I said in the very beginning. He didn't take this position. It was forced onto him, I believe. I think Lou was a naughty boy. And instead of them giving him a dishonorable discharge, this is my opinion. Just me. I think because you just heard him say, I'm not a UFO guy. I never cared for it. They told me to go into the UFO community and apply my skills and figure stuff out. Well, he didn't get specific to tell us what that was he was supposed to be doing while he infiltrated the UFO community. But it wasn't for disclosure. It was to lie to everybody you know, to find out what everybody was thinking, and to report back. To who, though? I want to know who Lou reported to. Do we know? Does anybody know? Like I say, over and over, I think Lou, instead of having a dishonorable discharge from the Army or whatever position he had, they saved his career because of Daddy. Daddy probably jumped in and said, "But you know what I did?" Boy, the apple does not fall far from the tree. And now allegedly Lou and Christopher Mellon came up with some scam on a UFO app that they're being investigated on. You know? Why was it so easy for me to see that in a guy like Lou? I have no idea. But I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just saying it's rare that you get one right. Especially you get everything right. I called him out. I said he's a bully. He lies to everybody. You can just tell. All right, let's move on. Now, things are heating up. And what do I mean by heating up in ufology? This whistleblower talk is absolutely funny to me. Funny in a comedic way. Because we want to hear all these people speak, right? What are there? There's now 30 or 40, somewhere around there, 30 or 40 whistleblowers ready to speak at a drop of a hat. But there's pushback from the gov and the government not approving it. I thought being a real whistleblower was to do whatever you want. Who cares what the government says? Isn't that the point? So why is this orchestrated by the government? This is being run. This doesn't make sense. Do they all have to go through DOPSR at this point? See, this is what I don't like. Grush did what he did so he wouldn't get thrown in jail. So do all of the whistleblowers have to do that? Is that what the problem is? And then you got a guy like Burchett, you know, Congressman Burchett out there. This guy is just talking out of his ass. But I like it because he's stirring up the pot. But he's really, I don't know if he understands what's going on. But he gets some things right, and then he gets a lot of things wrong. He's trying his hardest, for some reason, to be like the fly in the ointment, to be a monkey in the wrench. Wait. Yeah. But Burchett goes off and says, one of these people is not like the other. See, I think Burchett watches. I think he watches this show. I'm not kidding. Tim, you got to come on. The reason I think he watches is because he says one of these individuals is a disinfo guy. But he doesn't know who. But he says could be Elizondo, could be Mellon, Greer, Corbell, Knapp, Travis, or Brandon Fugel. Well, I could tell you this. It's not Brandon Fugel. Take a look. It's not Brandon Fugel, okay? Travis Taylor. I don't think he's a disinfo guy. Stephen Greer, he's got his own gig. He doesn't need to be a disinfo guy, and I don't really think he is. Christopher Mellon and Lou Elizondo are one and the same. I am going to say no, because the only videos they provided were the 3, and we all know how that turned out. And that's it. So you're left with Corbell and his father-in-law, Knapp. They're the disinfo agents. They're the ones that keep coming up with UFO sightings. Incredible reports of UFOs being shot at where nobody else is reporting it. Not that it's wrong what he's reporting, but doesn't it seem like it would be those two guys? And if you were to throw in an assist to that, I would throw in Mellon and Elizondo as well. More Elizondo than Mellon, but Mellon, I think, has the connections, the funding, and my God, he's just untrustworthy. They all are. And yet, this is what we have. If you take away Corbell and Knapp, ufology can get a little slow. But I think they're put out here, and I've said this many times, I think they are here as a psyop. I think they're disinfo psyop guys. That's why Jeremy Corbell, every one of his sightings wasn't a legitimate UFO, wasn't a legitimate blip on the radar as a UFO. It just isn't, and that's the bottom line. There's no proof out of all those things. And he did the documentary on Bob Lazar and did a bad job. And we saw that one video from that guy who said it's one of the worst documentaries ever made about anything. But Bob Lazar, it is the worst. And for an 1.5-hour movie to see Jeremy Corbell in a third of it doesn't make sense. And his feet for a good 8 minutes. And he doctored evidence. He made up a lie about the hand scanner. That was out years before. That's why we're talking about Lazar tonight. There is a place that we're going to go to tonight called Bob Lazar Debunked.com. It's pretty bad. Yeah. I know a few people in this community who hate the Bob Lazar story. No need to mention any names. You see them just about every day. But Burchett, before I get into the Bob Lazar stuff, Burchett, I don't know what they're telling him, why they would tell him to say disinfo agents. I don't think he would say this on his own. Something's going on with this guy. Or he likes what we say, because nobody else says what we say, really. Not a lot of people are saying what we say. None of his friends that I know of. Of course, people probably think the same way, but I haven't found them. So I'm going to play this. Listen to this. Disinfo agents? I mean, yeah.
Who is there anybody in particular that you think is a government disinformation agent?
I'll just leave it at probably somebody you've mentioned in this conversation.
Okay.
And the problem is they don't know it. That's the key to this whole thing, because
how would they not know it?
Because they're shown things that are false. Or they're
all right.
They brought people to them that are false.
Yeah.
Or something's created. Because all they got to do is put a bug in somebody's ear, and then the government's getting another $1 billion to study some crazy project somewhere.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
It does. So the disinformation agent, well, it does and it doesn't. So a disinformation agent is there to, one, discredit somebody.
Just get people off track, and two, to bring in more money. Just to keep the fire lit enough, just get you salivating enough to where you're asking a lot of questions, folks like myself. But I don't want any more money. I don't want the government to get. I don't think the government doesn't need enough. They need to go back, cut billions of dollars, trillions actually. But that's beside the point.
So if they're discrediting somebody, how would that that open people's checkbooks
Well,
up?
and somebody getting close to the real issue, they'll discredit them. Other people, they'll let them go down the rabbit hole so they can get the money.
Gotcha. So it's either one or the other.
Yeah.
Say it. Loopholes.
Who do you think, in your opinion,
here we go.
You don't have to say it because I know you talked to all of these people. Who is given you the most legitimate information?
Don't say Corbett.
They all have.
Ooh.
They've all given me a piece of something that's real.
Wow.
Okay. All right. I won't pry anymore with that. But
wow. What a safe answer they all have. That's a good answer. If he would have said Corbell, that's it. There's not another thing he could ever say again for me to ever trust or believe him, which I don't believe him anyway anymore. He thinks Ryan Graves chased a UFO. Have you heard this? This is what Burchett is saying. He's walking around being the disinfo guy. Where does he get this stuff? Check this out. Same interview.
We were warned about Grush by one of our staffers. You know, you've got...
What was the warning?
That he's not a legitimate thing, and, you need to... And that's, everybody is compromised in Washington, brother. We're compromised. The Russians used to use what's called honeypots,
Hold on there, Birch. So you're telling... He just said everybody. That includes you. That includes him. You can't blanket the whole entire thing and not include yourself. God, wouldn't that be great if he said, I'm a little bit shady too. I'm shady. Everybody's shady. Hell.
You'd travel somewhere. Used to do
Unreal.
a lot with gay folks, but now there's no stigma attached to it. Set them up. They'd film it.
What?
Somebody comes, hey, man, heard about you in that motel room. They ruined my family. That's okay, man. We just need your vote on this. And they do it through jobs. They do it through, trips. They analyze you. They know what they got. And these staffers they are the swamp. Some of them are.
A right-wing senator who's a bit of a nut called Tim Burchett.
They run too much of it, and we allow it.
We all see it. Well, I guess shouldn't say we all.
And these staffers they are the swamp. Some of them are.
A right-wing senator who's a bit of a nut called...
No way. Rose Cuckold is calling Burchett a nut? Well, that's calling the kettle black. Is that right?
Tim Burchett.
They run too much of it, and we allow it.
Wow.
We all see.
What a slime ball. What a slime ball.
Well, I guess shouldn't say we all.
You see, it proves it right there. Proves it that he's a slime ball. He's a journalist. And he's saying stuff like that about a congressman. It's very strange. Like, if I had that type of status, I wouldn't do it. No, I wouldn't be saying the things I'm saying here. If I had advertisers and was paid to be somebody I'm not. Selling out is what they call it. That ain't me. But that's him. That's Rose Cuckold. What an ass face. Wow. So he's a crazy guy, huh? Crazy. Just nutty. What did he say? What did he call him?
A bit of a nut called Tim Burchett.
He's a bit of a nut. Okay, that's not terrible. Still, though, that is exactly who Rose Cuckold is. He gets mad at me and then blocks me when he wouldn't return my DMs for 4 months. And then I call him out on it and he blocks me like a little bitch. I said, I thought Australian men were supposed to be tough and rugged. You're neither. You're a wimp. You wouldn't even talk to me or reply to me. But now you reply. Now he replies by blocking me. Tim Burchett, we were warned about Grush by our staffers. That was an interesting comment too. Why? Look at this. Do you see what's going on? Can you see that distortion field happening around on the screen? I don't know what's going on. I don't think I played this. Okay, this is where it left off. Okay, I'm going to play this minute. Just take a listen. It's the last one of Burchett. I play Burchett because I haven't played him in weeks. And now he's just really saying some interesting things, but man, I can't believe it.
About Grush, by one of our staffers. You know, you've got...
What was the warning?
You know, that he's not a legitimate thing, and, you know, you need to... And that's... You know, everybody is compromised in Washington, brother. We're compromised. The Russians used to use what's called honeypots. You know, you'd travel somewhere. They used to do it a lot with gay folks. Well, now there's no stigma.
Oh, I played this already.
Set them up. They'd film it. And then somebody comes, hey, man, heard about you in that motel room. They ruined my family.
Oh, he's talking about how people get set up. They catch you in these odd predicaments, and then they turn it against you if you don't do what they say. Hey, if you don't pass that bill, that picture of you next to that interesting fellow at that interesting bar, that might slip out into the public eye and your career could be over. So just pass the bill. Just need your vote. Okay, I'll do it. Can I have the picture? No. But we have more. Huh? Nothing. And Burchett. I'm not going to play any more Burchett. I said I wasn't going to, so I'm not. Now, before we get into Bob Lazar, interesting name, isn't it? Yeah. All fake. Bob Lazar. Come on. Bob. It's the same name, frontwards, backward. What is the somber reality? We've heard this from people in the past, but what is it? Well, apparently, according to Rose Cuckold, when Lou Elizondo uses words like somber, there's some weight to it. Oh, God. I mean, really, Rose Cuckold still supporting loser. Lou who? Her.
The simple fact is that if the American government chooses to classify what essentially is alleged to be an illegal criminal cover-up, it doesn't look good for the Constitution of the United States that they've chosen to do that. And I guess I just don't believe that the Congress would allow that to happen. I mean, there are too many people now in the Congress who are aware of the full story. And believe me, the full story is pretty bloody horrific.
No, what? What is the full story? Why would Cuckold know the story before any of us? What's that full story that's circulating around inside the government? What is it? Nobody knows what the full story is. I can't believe these people. So they know what disclosure is. They know it all. That's what Rose Cuckold is saying. Where does she get off talking like this? It's very strange. I didn't hear this. Have you? That everybody knows what the story is in the government? I'm aware there's people who might that need to know, but I think it's a handful. I don't think Rose Cuckold knows, or Burchett knows, or Leslie Kane knows, or Greer knows. But they know people who are in the know who tell them what is so. Now, You could choose to believe it or not. I don't know what to believe. So I choose to stay in the middle. I listen to everything and I don't believe anything I hear, but I accept it as information. But I don't believe what anybody says. No, not until there's definitive proof. Until then, whatever anybody says, everything could be changed by the time there's an investigation. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, they're keeping bodies over at Floyd Patterson Air Force Base or whatever the name. What is it? Floyd Patterson? Isn't that the boxer? Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Oh, yeah, they're keeping the bodies there. Now, they moved them 50 years ago, right? But people still talk like the bodies are there. At S4, Bob Lazar, ba-ba-da-ba-da. No, not anymore. I doubt it. They probably moved it. Or they didn't move it. And they left it there because they know nobody can get through the security, get there, and do anything. Yeah. Nobody knows anything that's going on. I'm telling you. If people knew, we would know. And we don't know. Well, let me listen to the rest of what she's saying.
When Lou uses words like somber, he uses it for a reason. What's been going on is a disgrace. And, I wish I could talk more specifically about it. And I feel frustrated as a journalist that I just can't go, blang.
Oh, my God. So he's listening to whatever Lou Elizondo's telling him. Got it. Okay. So the disinfo guy is telling the misinfo guy, and the misinfo guy can't tell us anything from the disinfo guy. But we're supposed to be like, ooh, Rose Cuckold knows something, but she can't tell us. She can't. She's so strong. She's so dedicated. She's a hero in my book. That's what this is all about. Fakery. Bullshittery. Look at me saving ufology by not telling you what's really somber. Somber. So what if he used the word somber? That side of ufology lives on feelings instead of critical thinking. I'm telling you, we are in a lot of trouble with these people at the helm. Whatever information they're putting out there, it ain't right. And you can just tell. You know why? Because nothing ever comes to fruition. There's never... See? There's never... See? We did it. You never see that. Hey, we did. The only thing they got was Arrow. And Lou said it won't be transparent as you think. I don't know. I can't promise. And he was right. He didn't lie. Lou didn't sugarcoat Arrow at all. I have to give him credit. But he got it. He helped get it. Well, he gave the appearance he helped with getting Arrow. It was already ready already. All right? They already had it. There was no Lou helping anything. It's all part of the story. It's the narrative they want to throw out there. It's a joke. They literally are just having fun. That's all they're doing. Without showing us any evidence. Getting away with all this. It's amazing to me. Everything they tell us doesn't have anything to back it up. Nothing. How does that make you feel? Nothing. Come to find out that 3 videos, total garbage, literal garbage. Why do we do it? Why do we do it? Then we deal with Bob Lazar. And then, believe it or not, aliens are demons. Still, they are pushing this demon thing. Yeah, they really are. Now, if you listen to Travis Taylor and Gary Nolan, they're the ones that are leaning towards could be demons. Remember? Travis had that Jesus dream. Remember? He got a boo-boo when he was sleeping, but he thinks he was, demonized something. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, they are covering, and now they're talking about remote viewing and channeling. So they're covering it all now. That side of ufology. This isn't about nuts and bolts anymore. This has gone to the loopholes of ufology. The things that we have said aren't possible for years, decades. That's where they're bringing ufology to. A point of failure. A place where there's no evidence. Instead of staying with the nuts and bolts. I get it. But I think there's a reason why they are moving away from the nuts and bolts, because there are no nuts and bolts for them to play with. They can't get that information. They can't show us anything that's, pliable, real, something we can study, hold, work with. So they have to think outside the box. Well, if we're not going to get this shit and we can't work on it, what if it's because they really are demons? Or there's 57 flavors of aliens and we could talk to them telepathically, right? They use that quantum thought, like the speed of thought. They're all the way on the other side of the galaxy. Boom. Did you get that message? Don't forget donuts on the way home. Boom. Got it. That's the loophole. Oh, boop. But nobody can record a conversation. That's the sad part. Oh, everybody's having conversations with all sorts of aliens. Oh my, it's an amazing thing. There's just thousands and thousands of aliens. You know that Bashir guy? Come on now. It's real, man. And not only that, Cyborgs on Dr. Phil. I played a portion of it yesterday or the day before. But I want to play more because it's fun. Hey, tomorrow night, I've got a really good show. I keep forgetting to tell you. Paranormal Highway is coming on tomorrow. All right? It's Eric from Paranormal Highway. And we're going to have an incredible show tomorrow. Oh, yeah. It's going to be good. I had no idea how good it was going to be until I started looking into the things he's doing and talking about. And holy crap. Right under my nose, right in front of our face. Got a nice guy out there. Yeah, I'm real excited for tomorrow. All right. Cyborgs. I want to play I only played a portion of this because it's the Dr. Phil show, so I can't play all 4 minutes, but now I can play you another minute and a half. Hold on. I don't know what that was. But here we go. We're having those problems again. All right, here it is. So this guy claims to be a cyborg / alien and is telling us what it's like in 2050 and why he's here now. He says that we are killing the planet, of course, and other stuff.
I thought I understood you to say that you are becoming mechanized.
Yes. We will become fully mechanized, as in the commercial sense shown on our shirt.
Watch this. Okay,
But we are already mechanized.
I broke it down. Not fully.
If y'all see my work.
Okay, just partially mechanized.
Correct.
What part of you is mechanized?
Our brain, our legs.
Okay, your legs are mechanized?
Inside, yes. We've had operations.
Okay, so if we x-ray your legs, we would see mechanized legs, not bone and muscle.
Correct.
Would not be the
It
same.
is a combination of flesh and steel.
Right.
We are not saying that we are invincible. We are saying that we have merged with technology, with machine.
Right.
In order to stay alive.
I've got really...
Okay. Here's what should be happening. And I'm not joking. Some sort of military group breaks into the Dr. Phil show and takes this guy away at gunpoint. They record everything. They x-ray his legs, come to find out he's just a guy lying to the American people, to the world. Another juicy smoulier lying. And then those secret government guys take off their masks, and it's the cast and crew from Saturday Night Live. The joke's on us. The whole thing was faked. Is that what's going on here? Is this a real psyop from the government? Or is this a real person who claims that they have metal under their skin? It's the Terminator, but without the terminate.
crappy knees, so I
Understood.
would love to have mechanized legs. It'd be a great thing. What do cyborgs do for fun?
Learn.
We heard
What
this
do
part.
cyborgs think is humorous?
We do not know.
Are there any cyborg jokes, like three cyborgs walked into a bar?
Humans think that the world will last forever. That is a lie.
No,
That
they
is
don't.
funny.
The world's over. Okay. Do you form relationships?
Yes.
So you could tell it's total bullshit, right? Because of what he just said. Humans think the earth is going to last forever. We do not think that at all. Every scientist, every geologist, every smart person with a brain knows we have extinction level events every so 1,000 years. And in between those, we have some pretty nasty stuff happening. Earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, etc. So that's how you know. You got to look for those type of comments that don't belong if they're being truthful. And that's one of those that doesn't belong. It's a loophole. He's a lying loophole.
We must get out our messaging.
And you say you don't want to tie yourself up with a job because if you have a job, you can't spread your message.
Correct. Our job is spreading the message.
I have a job and spread my...
That's what a millennial would say. That's what a millennial would say. How can I do the work and spread the word if I'm working? That's his mother that was sitting there earlier in that conversation when I played that yesterday or the day before. He goes, oh, I have an implant in my skull or something like that. And she goes, no, you don't. Something like that. It was so funny. It was real. It's like she was totally putting him down. Like, no, you don't. You're such a liar. That was so cool. I don't understand. You know, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get why people want attention. Holy mackerel. Wait a second. How? Okay, look, I'm telling you right now. I don't know how that showed up. Stephen, thank you very much, by the way. It says it was a half hour ago, 40 minutes ago. I didn't see anything. So I'm sorry it took me forever to get to this. And you have two of them. So the show's amazing as always, bro. Fook the haters. Yeah, we do. We did. We're done. The haters are just children at this point to me. I don't even care. So I have nothing to say about any of them. What am I going to say that hasn't already been said? I just don't care, to be honest. I don't even listen to their shows. I don't know what they're talking about. Nobody tells me, and I don't want to know. Here's the other $2. I really like Tim Burchett, says Stephen Karn. I don't mind him. I just don't trust him. There's something weird going on with the way he's talking. I think it's awfully strange that he's saying these things that, oh yeah, the government's going to put 2 in the back of your brain. I'm like, whoa, whoa. Even that's like, I mean, wow. You know, I never heard that from someone in Congress talk like that. It's refreshing, actually. Thank you, Stephen. Stephen Karn with the £2 2 quid, £4 4 quid total. Mucho gusto generoso. Thank you, man. And you're always here when you're here. I know. Life happens. I'm glad you're okay. Let's get to Slob Lazar. Roberto Lazaro. Bob Lazar. Or the illegitimate son of John Lear. Boy, oh boy, they sure do look alike. They do. I'm going to show you right now. I'm right. Watch. I'm going to show you John Lear. I can't do a split screen at the time, but images, 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 images. And I'm serious. I'm not joking around. I really do believe there's a huge similar, very, very similar look these guys have. And here you could see it easily. Here's John, and Bob's down here. I mean, here they are. Beepity, beepity, beep. I mean, it's very similar. Very. I mean, this could be Bob Lazar in 25 years. You know, yes and no. But at certain angles, they have the same mouth. They both wear glasses. Come on now. Not everybody wears glasses like this. Come on, just go with it. They both have hair and a forehead. They both have the same high forehead, just like me. But they definitely have the same mouth and the same eye frames. They definitely have a similar look. I'm not kidding. I really believe it. Hey, look at that guy. Come on. You know? All right. You understand? You understand now? It's Bob Lazar. See? Very similar. Look, Bob Lazar, the reason they don't match perfectly is because you got to counter, you got to add in the woman, whoever that woman was. Bob Lazar picked up that half of the DNA, and that's why Bob looks like Bob. John Lear, you know, he may have John Lear's skeletal formation. Like me, I have my dad's body, but I got my mother's innards, you know? Yeah, we figured that one out. But wow. So, I got to show you some things. You're not going to like it, because I know some of you love Bob Lazar. As a matter of fact, you love him a little too much. We got to knock you back down a little bit. Is Amy here? Amy! Pay attention. Amy loves Bob Lazar. Actually, I think she's on the fence too, but she wants to believe so badly. It hurts. Me too. Look, all kidding aside, I thought Bob Lazar could have been the real deal. But years ago, it was debunked that he's not. And a lot of things don't make sense. But I'm going to show you on BobLazarDebunked.com what I'm talking about. There's so much here. Well, give me a second. Whoa, wait a second. Oh, okay. Whew. The facts. Okay. So you can see behind me some of the similarities between Bob Lazar and George Adamski's beam ship. Billy Meier beam ship, I mean. Sorry about that. You see, what is that shit going on? It's so weird. I don't know what's going on. Hold on a second. And when I move... Anyway, you get the point. I'm going to pull it up. So we're going to look at all this stuff. I never dove into the Bob Lazar rabbit hole. I didn't care to. I listened to the interviews, every word of everything he's ever said. I have looked at all the links, but I maybe I did look at everything. You know what I mean? But I didn't care to keep talking about it. The sport model craft and the history of Bob Lazar and the Billy Meier hoax. In an interview he did with Project Camelot, John Lear reveals that Bob Lazar and his pal, Gene Huff, begged him to sell them copies of all his UFO stuff, including the Billy Meier stuff. The more I've looked at this, the more I'm convinced that Bob copied his saucer designs and descriptions from the Meier and Adamski stuff given to him by John Lear. Note the similarities. I mean, you can see easily this is so close. Note, similar sensor array, right? They both have the little things there. Nearly identical waveguide at the top. You could even call that an antenna, right? Can I be seen? There we go. Then you got the under part there. You got slightly altered bottom section, bop-a-dop-a-dop, upside down cake, slightly altered curvature of the outer rim. Yep. Same numbers of steps or ridges. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything is so close, but just a little bit different. Not cool, Bob. Not cool at all. You understand? Not cool. You know why? You know, Billy Meier's craft description. Yeah, these are fake, obviously. Look at these craft very closely. Did Bob copy his descriptions from other UFO stories? Yes! Bob Lazar's craft. Go ahead, knock yourselves out. Here's your core plates, whatever the hell those are, the reactor. Look, I just got my stories from my research. Oh, you got to study. Stuttering a little, are you? No. No. Shut up, Rich. You're asking for it. Why do you sound like Butthead? 3, look, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, Adamski, Lazar. Come on, Bob. Look, you just don't know the whole story, Rich. You don't even sound like you. Is this you? Yes. Yeah. We got a fake Bob Lazar I'm talking to. The 3 gravity amplifiers is straight out of Adamski's descriptions. No technical science of data has ever been given about how these function. You know, for example, what are they made of? What is the geometry and frequency of the tuning? What is the wave speed and optical properties of the material? Stuff a real physicist would ask and want to know! Exclamation point. ... The Honeysuckle Ranch. Bob Lazar is a straight pimp. Yes. He owned a brothel. Brothel. I don't have a problem with him trying to make money. A brothel, on the other hand, is easy, dangerous, connected with shade for some reason. One of the most interesting details in the Bob Lazar story was the fact that Lazar helped operate a brothel in Vegas where he installed security cameras and a monitoring system in the rooms, and he was recording Johns and then using the video evidence to blackmail them. Wow, really? He did that? I didn't know that. Oh, wait a minute. And the government thought that this recluse was a good idea to have around our UFO. You know why? He was expendable to them. He didn't have his family, just his mother, a couple of broads. He's a brothel guy. He was probably doing some yayo on the side. I guarantee Bob Lazar was doing yayo. I feel it in me, man. That guy's as shady as a 9-foot dogwood tree. What is Knapp going to say that I haven't already heard? Go. All right, I don't have an hour and 15 minutes. Thank you. And then they had the special that reveals where Bob scooped his Area 51 intel. Small Zeta Reticuli grazed the Janet flights and the government Bible. This video aired on TV in 1988. Listen to this. Pay close attention to the content mentioned at the timestamp. It's all of Bob's Area 51, government, Bible, and MJ-12 information, including the stuff about the aliens from Zeta Reticuli. No way. I can't play it, but it's there. The aviary members. Oh, remember the... Oh, sorry, I didn't know it was on small screen. The Zeta Reticuli, that's how Bob calls it, 2, corporation and defrauding of Bigelow Aerospace. I just came across this 1997 article by Glenn Campbell offering a skeptical theory about Bob Lazar and his claims. Lazar theory, number 1, fraud for Bigelow funding. The excerpt. Lazar made up the story on his own, based on his own significant technical knowledge, his peripheral work with a contractor on the Nellis Range, and the prior Area 51 alien claims of John Lear. Aliens eating humans in a vast underground base, which Lazar, quote-unquote, cleaned up and made more plausible. What was Lazar's motivation? Money? Under theory number 1, Lazar cooked up the story to obtain funding from Las Vegas philanthropist Robert Bigelow, who was known to sponsor far-out projects. Some details not mentioned in the article. Oh, wow. The registration for the Zeta Reticuli 2 Corporation is a public record at the Nevada Department of State, which registers corporations. Both Lazar and Bigelow are listed as officers. As the story goes, Lazar not only worked with Element 115, he managed to smuggle some of it out, and the corporation was somehow intended to test or exploit it. So much for intense base security. How can a low-level employee smuggle what is arguably the most precious substance on Earth? Well, we still don't know the purpose or business plan of the Zeta Reticuli 2 Corporation. The only thing certain is that it did exist. And we can also assume that when a private corporation is formed, its intent is to make money. Lazar himself, next point, had no idea his story would get so big. He was just out to pull off a modest con, according to theory number one, almost from the day the story was broadcast, and he was identified publicly as the source. Lazar had been trying to put the brakes on it. Lazar has never been to Area 51. If he had, he could have described innocuous details of the base that any genuine worker would know, like the cafeteria or what you see first when you get off the plane. There are a lot of people who can verify these details, and one former worker in particular, who I met, grilled Lazar in private about them and got nowhere. Funny that someone would be willing to reveal details of a super secret saucer program, but not details of the cafeteria. And next, Lazar had reason to be afraid of the government. If he had security clearance, he could have been prosecuted for releasing classified information or any information about classified facilities, even innocuous non-alien information. So maybe that's why he can't discuss the Area 51 cafeteria. If he had been there, he could have been prosecuted for that, whereas he can't be prosecuted for revealing a non-existent saucer base at Papoose Lake, because one is real and one isn't. You see? That's how you know it's fake, guys. Seriously. FBI interest in Lazar was real. Knapp describes interaction with Agent Mike Thigpen. Remember that guy? Who was apparently investigating Lazar. Knapp takes this as evidence that the Lazar story is true. My interpretation, however, is that soon as the Lazar story was broadcast on KLAS TV, the government itself was scrambling for answers to determine if any classified non-alien information had been released. That's all. Lazar says that he went public on KLAS to save his own life. Remember? There could be an element of truth to this. Remember that Lazar first appears on KLAS in shadows as Dennis. If the government managed to identify him anyway and Lazar had a security clearance, then they're going to start harassing him. Even if the story is fictitious, he has certainly breached security protocols. The best way to save his own ass is to go fully public with his fake story. Then he is protected by publicity, and the government can't touch him. Knapp says that Los Alamos denied Lazar work there, but Knapp found Lazar's name in an official faculty phone directory. Proof of a cover-up? Not exactly. Los Alamos is a big place with lots of contractors and subcontractors. Lazar could have worked at Los Alamos without working for Los Alamos. There is no question he worked for a contractor, which certainly would have given him a primer on government secrecy. I remember seeing a document in the pre-internet era, although I haven't been able to find it again, which purported to be an internal military memo released at the time of the KLAS broadcast confirming that Lazar had worked on the Nellis Range, but that he had never been to any forward, areas, apparently meaning Area 51. It remains plausible but unproven that Lazar worked briefly on the Nellis Range and could have picked up many details of his story there. That he worked on the range and or had security clearance was reason enough for the FBI to take an interest in him after his claims were broadcast. There's a lot to read here, so I'm just going to keep going. You know the story. You know the story. There's a lot more. Check it out. Watch. We're just getting started if we really want to get started. Robert Scott Lazar bio, element 115. Let's do S4. Bob's website, boblazar.com, used to have drawings and maps showing the exact locations of S4, along with Bob's drawings of the hangar doors in the side of the mountains. Bob Lazar claims the S4 facility is just off the dry lake bed, and the hangar doors had a sand coating. An installation that was butt up against the mountain. So right up against the mountain, he says. Pilot Gabe Zeifman recently published high-def images of Papoose Dry Lake and the exact location of the alleged S4. Tough to see anything there. Whoops. It took us off. So, S4, fact or fiction? Well, we think it's real, right? One of the biggest pieces of Bob Lazar's story that completely falls apart is his claims about the secret facility built into the side of the mountain at Papoose Dry Lake. Rest assured that 30 years of intense research has gone into trying to find evidence or get information on this alleged base, and 30 years later, we've turned up nothing. Well, we've actually turned up a lot more than nothing. We've actually turned up a lot of evidence that nothing is or ever was out at Papoose Dry Lake. Another key piece of Bob's story is a complete and total fabrication. If Bob was really brought to some secret facility somewhere, it wasn't Papoose Dry Lake. You know what? You know what I think Bob did? I know my eye started burning. My allergies are killing me. It was kind of breezy today, and they cut the lawn yesterday, and all I did was smell grass all day. So, yeah, I'm not high. What was I going to say? Oh, the reason maybe Bob Lazar said it's there at the Papoose Lake, because he can't tell us where it is or he could be in trouble. So I wonder, oh yes, I wonder, did he give us a cryptic clue telling us that it was at Papoose Dry Lake, whatever the frig you call that place, with the sand-blown doors in the side of the mountain? Maybe he's telling us it's somewhere else. Maybe that's a cryptic thing he's saying. Has anybody ever thought of that? See, I think every one of you out there who has ever been on Google Earth scoped that whole area top to bottom. Not an inch was missed. I guarantee it. So where is it, Bob? I'm telling you that they must have covered him up. I don't know. You little stuttering prick, are you there, Bob? That's not cool, Richard. Don't call me Dick. Excuse me. So, more S4. Bob Lazar claimed that he worked between December 88 and April 89 in at the zone S4. The Jerry Freeman story. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we don't need to read this guy's story. I mean, we could. All right. Well, I'm not going to go into the whole chronicle, but the Jerry Freeman story completely challenges the narrative put forth by Bob Lazar about a top secret base at Papoose Lake called S4. For if Bob's story were true, then Jerry Freeman would most certainly have been apprehended for coming so close to the base. To date, no credible evidence has ever been put forth to prove a facility ever existed at Papoose Lake where Lazar claimed this top secret government-owned UFO hangar was. See, this guy, I think he lived right on the edge of the facility. Now I got to check. I can't remember. I think I'm right. Hold on. The link's not. Oh, there it goes. Oh, he did. He took the trip through. All right. This is the account by archaeologist Jerry Freeman of his 7-day, 100-mile unauthorized trek. And oh, that's the guy who snuck on to Area 51. That's right. Freeman's objective was to trace the trail of one of the most famous wagon trains in American history, the Lost Emigrants of 1849, where Odyssey resulted in the naming of Death Valley. Specifically, he wanted to find and document an inscription made by one of the pioneers thought to be in Nye Canyon above Papoose Lake on the Nellis Air Force Base bombing and gunnery range. Well, last year, or whenever this was, he and a group of 5 followed the 147-year-old trail from western Utah to Death Valley. But the Lost 49ers staggered right through what is now the Air Force range, and Freeman was consistently denied access to any part of Air Force property. As a result, on April 22nd of this year, or whenever this was, Freeman decided to take matters into his own hands. Well, he said he stood alone beside the rusted metal barricade marking the end of public land an hour earlier, but he waited for the sun to go down. The moon was out. He was going to go out with the moon, lighting his way. Finally, he says, taking a deep breath, I stepped across the barrier and into the forbidden zone. Earlier that day, I met with Ken McCall, a reporter for Las Vegas Sun, to apprise him of my surreptitious intent to find an inscription of what we believed to have been carved on a remote canyon wall. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. The catch was the lake and the canyon lie deep, beep-be-deep-ba-da. A phone call was made, ba-ba-da-ba-doop. Who gives a shit? Has nothing to do with Bob. I don't want to hear it anymore. Get out of here, Jerry. Boring me. Next, S4 completely debunked using the best, most legit resources. So we know. But don't you remember what happened over a year ago, friends? Don't you remember what started the war? The Goofonian War? Do you remember? S4 was found. And when they found it, people couldn't believe it. They said, there's no way. Why? Because the guy who found it has a criminal record. So he can't be credible, and it must be a hoax. I'm not going to get into what happened, why they were wrong, why they were totally foolish and out of line. Some of them have admitted their wrongdoings, while the others just peed their pants. Anyway, S4 was supposedly found by this person. It's still there. You can go there and look at it, but it's not on Papoose Lake. It's near it. It's on another side on a mountain. I know where it is. Yeah, we can go there. Want to go take a look? We can go take a look, see if it's still there. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, got it. My computer did an update. And of course, I wasn't home when it happened. All right, so where is Google Earth? Here it is, Google Earth. I got to open it up before I can bring you in. Here we go. Can you see me flashing? Do you see this? It's a glitch. The screen flashes. Don't know why. It's annoying though. You don't see it, but I do. All right, let's go to S4. Ready? S4, go. No. I'll just go there by myself. Let me go to Area 51. Let's type that in. Go. Now we're going to go, I think it was over here. Oh shit, I can't remember. Wow, I can't remember. Shoot, I can't remember. Where's Papoose Lake? Is this it? Oh no, I can't remember. I can't believe I can't remember. I could have sworn it was here. But it's not. I don't, that doesn't look right. I'm so mad. Maybe it's here. Yeah, maybe. Oh, I can't remember. Oh, that stinks. I thought I would remember. I can't. Papoose Lake. That's what I'll do. This way, I can get my bearings. Okay, now I know where it is. Papoose Lake. So if I remember correctly... No, don't do this to me. Yep, here it is. This is the road, I believe. There was a road that takes you there. 15-mile road. It says S4 on it, too. I can't remember. Damn, I thought I would remember. It just doesn't look the same. Everything looks different to me. I don't remember it looking like there were boulders around. It's weird. Oh, wait. Papoose Mountain? Why would that? Okay, okay, I think here it is. It's around here. Cockeyed Ridge. All right, we're on the right side. But this ain't it. God, I thought it would be easy to find. It looks different to me. I just don't understand. I remember the road that takes us out there. Oh well, I can't figure it out. I could have sworn it was here. It should pop up. Whoa, too far. See, and then I thought this was it. So let's go back here and see if it's here. Papoose Mountain. I think it's here. I think I had to turn it around. Yeah, I think I'm right. No. I don't know. Things look different. It's been a couple of years, so anyway, I can't figure it out. Oh, my eyes are burning. Look. Let me pull up this. All right, let's get back to Bob Lazar here. So a lot of now let's get to Bob Lazar in the element 115, right? Oh, wait, there's more of this. All right, let's see. No, there isn't. All right. Well, what does George say here? Oh, this is the movie. Can't play it. Can't play the movie. Flying Saucers and Bob Lazar. Element 115. I guess Bob stole it. The central thesis of Bob Lazar's scientific disclosures was the existence of a stable isotope of element 115, which is needed for the ship's antimatter reactor. During the time period when Bob Lazar first spoke with George Knapp on Coast to Coast AM under the cover name Dennis, science had not just discovered element 115. Only years later would science catch up with Bob Lazar, which isn't true. Let's see what science has to say about Bob Lazar's claims. Inside the reactor, element 115 is bombarded with a proton, which plugs into the nucleus of the 115 atom and becomes element 116, which immediately decays and releases or radiates small amount of antimatter. The antimatter is released into a tuned tube which keeps it from reacting with the matter that surrounds it. It is then directed towards a gaseous matter target at the end of the tube. The matter and antimatter collide and annihilate totally, converting to energy. The heat from this reaction is converted into electrical energy in a near 100% efficient thermoelectric generator. Bob Lazar did not predict element 115. May 1989 issue of Scientific American did. Whoa! The same exact year and month that Bob claimed he was working out at the top secret S4 facility on top of Papoose Dry Lake, an article was published in Scientific American, which gives all of the scientific and technical information that Bob would later use to defend his claims of an island of stability and an always yet undiscovered, though probably incredibly difficult to produce, stable isotope of element 115. As in completely stable, not just relatively stable as in a few milliseconds, as the graph clearly imply. In the past 20 years, all attempts to produce isotopes that lie in the expected center of the stabilization at 298114 have failed. Neither fusion nor any other heavy ion reactor has led to the detection of these super heavy isotopes. Nonetheless, the basic idea of possible shell-stabilized nucleon systems beyond the stable nuclear droplets has been confirmed by the experiments described here. There remains every reason to believe that the theory can be extrapolated to even heavier elements. Scientific American, May 1989. The article was all that Bob needed to come up with an unfalsifiable story about element 115. And then years later, when element 115 was created in a laboratory, it was not a stable isotope. 4 isotopes were discovered, and none of them have a half-life longer than a few milliseconds. The likelihood that a completely stable isotope exists, which has never been found anywhere in the geological record, not even in meteorites, is troubling for Lazar. Bob Lazar's a joke. During the course of my investigation, I tried my hardest to crack down any trace of potential information related to Bob Lazar's disclosures. After 30 years, classified stuff tends to leak out in various ways. I was searching for any traces of those leaks. Please let me know if you come across any evidence for a catastrophic event in the years 87 through 89, which killed several scientists and was later covered up as an unannounced nuclear test. Here's what I found. Bob's Element 115 reactor core mocks up, and the story about the scientists that were killed to appear to have been adapted from a real story called the Demon Core. Yes, I remember that. Another interesting fact about in that movie about the Manhattan Project, which depicted the incident, actually came out in 1989 called Fat Man and Little Boy. Yes, I remember all this. Bob Lazar hand scanners debunked. Oh boy. We found Bob Lazar's hand scanner in a 1973 Radio Electronics magazine. Click here to see it. I'm clicking. It's downloading. It's coming up. Page not found, it says. Oh, wait. Hold on. Hey there, your lost treasure is not found here. It's sad, isn't it? Bob Lazar. I'm not going to do a huge deep dive tonight, but there's enough there. There's a lot there that prove Bob Lazar is not honest. The story doesn't make sense in a lot of places. And then in other places it does. I used to say, why would they take a guy like this? Smart guy, right? Builds rocket cars. He understands combustion, energy, and he understands thermonuclear war. No, wrong movie. Wrong movie. I'm thinking of War Games. Now, they chose Bob because why? Why? John Lear, I think, had something to do with that. John Lear knew people. I don't know how, but he did. But Bob Lazar, I really don't. I don't believe the story. And I'll tell you another reason why. He said they tried 5 or 6 times to take him out. He's been followed. At one time, he went to the gym, and when he came out, both doors were open. The trunk was open. And laying on the console, maybe the front seat as well, were his Uzi and his driver's license and other things that were saying, hey, Bob, we broke into your car, put your gun here, put your ID here, laid your money out, didn't take it, opened up the trunk just for the hell of it. We can do what we want when we want. That's when Bob went to the news, apparently, supposedly. They didn't want to kill Bob. They just wanted to scare him. Which is weird. Because if he really did work at S4 and he's talking like this, They usually kill people. At least that's the impression we get. Would you not believe it? I mean, there's so many people who have died for this stuff. I believe if he was breaking the law and telling everybody on the planet they're trying to kill me because I worked on a UFO or 2 or 9 or whatever. I worked on this thing called the sports model. Da-da-da-da-dee-da-da-da-doo. Sure, I can't tell you where the cafeteria was because I never ate there. I worked 12 hours a day straight, didn't even use the bathroom. I don't know where it is. Couldn't tell you. When I got there, I sleepwalked all the way in. They told us not to look at anything. I literally didn't look at anything. Half the time, I don't even know how I got to my office. I think I floated there. I really don't know. But I'm Bob Lazar, and I worked at S4, and you can believe it or not. But I worked on UFOs. Where'd they come from? Your guess is as good as mine. You know what they did? They put a flag on one. So when I walked in, I was like, oh, that's interesting. No wonder why people think these are ours. They put a flag on it. That's genius. That's not what people reported, schmuck. People reported seeing UFOs with the American flag on the side. I'm sure it may have happened, but it wasn't the norm. Let me tell you that. Oh, yeah, Foo Fighters had them on all of them. They were just burning the whole time. Come on, Bob. You got to do better with the lie. The whole thing just seems like a setup to me. A psyop. How would how would the world react to this fella? This unassuming sociopath of a human. Bob Lazar is a sociopath. This is Bob Lazar laughing. This is Bob Lazar crying. This is Bob Lazar stoned out of his mind. You can't tell. The guy shows very little emotion when he speaks. He barely breaks a smile when he says something he likes or agrees with somebody with. He's the perfect guy for the role. He's a sociopath. What a great way to hide the lie inside a sociopath. And maybe he did work there. Oh, maybe he did. Maybe he did. But I don't think he did. He could have. I'm just saying I don't think he did. Did we do we did a, what do you call it, a poll. So let's take a look at the poll. Wow, 188 votes. Let's end the poll. Thank you for the votes. So I said, do you believe Bob Lazar worked on real UFOs? 49% of you said yeah. 28% said no. And I rarely put this in there, but I gave you the option to say, I really don't know. And that came in at 22%, which surprised me. Yeah, I thought it would be like 30. Wow, what an interesting poll. So half of you out of almost 200 votes, you believe he worked on real UFOs. That's cool. That's cool. That's about right. That's what I was thinking it might be. I used to believe, and then I'm up and down, but I don't believe it anymore. I don't. Oh, hold on a second. I'm pulling this. Where? Nah. All right, let me pull this up. And then, is there anything else that I need to talk about with Bob? Oh, actually, let's say thank you to the people who actually did this debunk on Bob Lazar. These are the good people in ufology. Michael Schratt, believe it or not, for his research in the Lazar report. You got Jeremy Riss, or Reese, right? I don't know who that is. Who is that guy? Jeremy does incredible work. He's now getting in with Congress and trying to let them know that they've got possible technologies that could change the world. Yep. Jeremy Corbell, he hates Corbell. Jeremy Corbell has not allowed for fair and open discussion, debate regarding Bob Lazar, and has been known to delete comments, threads, and take action against people like myself for exposing Bob and some of the more alarming details in the case which Corbell would rather people not know or talk about. It seems that Corbell is hard set on pushing false scientific narrative to the public about the fraudulent Element 115 stuff, and I see it having very negative repercussions on the scientific community's understanding, interpretation, and experience with the phenomena. I question whether this man is a shameless opportunist just in it for the money, a government operative pushing disinformation for the machine, or both. What? When did this come out? This isn't that old. That's fantastic. Great job. Oh, am I missing some supers? Hey, Alexander Dansby throwing down. That was about 40 minutes ago, man. Wow. I got busy on the thing. Damn it. Alexander Dansby throwing down a $2 super dono. It's pure love. Right back at Goofon. Right back at you. Yeah, thanks again for your continuing support. I appreciate it. Beautiful. Mucho gusto, generoso. Sapphire Elf. Que pasa? What are you doing? Throwing down a $5 super chat is what you're doing. Thanks, man. You ask or say, what is a real UFO, though? Any hidden technology he worked on can be unidentified in nature. Does that mean alien? No. That's the thing. That's why I always say, we don't know, do we? So I'll answer your first question. What is a real UFO? A real UFO, in my opinion, because I know other people have different opinions on what a real UFO is. But I think what a real UFO is, something that has been documented on video or a very good picture of something unexplained that isn't in our technology, in human technology. Something that's documented, not faked, and unexplained. That's a real UFO. It's the only way I can explain it. And when you say hidden technology he worked on can be unidentified in nature, yeah, absolutely, for sure. Does that mean alien? Nope. It means we don't know. It means it's unexplained. It's unexplained. It's unknown. It doesn't mean alien. It could be indigenous. It's just unknown. That's great stuff right there, Sapphire, because we don't know. I am somehow leaning, the more I'm in this field, I am leaning more that these things are indigenous to the planet. I think they've been here. And I don't think they can come to the surface like we would expect. I think they live in the water. I do. I think they're water creatures. It's why their heads are bigger. There's less gravity. Their eyes are big because the murkiness, the different lenses they probably have to see in different kind of murky water. Who the hell knows? I'm just throwing out egg biscuits, whatever sticks to the kitchen wall, I'll eat it. Thank you, Sapphire Elf, for being a continuing supporter of GoofOn. Mucho gusto, generoso. We've got a major problem. Okay? We still don't know what's happening in ufology. And yet, Bob Lazar comes out of the woodwork now and wants to be somebody again. I don't get it. Why? What happened? Is he getting to the age where he doesn't want to work on cars or do any of that stuff now? He just wants to talk about working at S4 or talking about the technology that he allegedly worked on. But he's back, and I know he's getting paid for talking. It's Bob Lazar, for cripe's sakes. That's what bothers me. That right there. He's Bob Lazar, for cripe's sakes. He deserves to get paid. You know what? Screw Bob Lazar. He deserves shit. If he lied, if it's made up, he deserves the shit on the bottom of my shoe. He doesn't deserve a career if he lied. That's the sad thing. We can't prove it. All we can do is look at the research that Jeremy and Schratt did and all the other people who have debunked Bob Lazar over the years. There's more negativity about Bob Lazar than positivity. There's more things debunking Bob Lazar than promoting his legitimacy. Just remember that. And I didn't even go over all the good stuff yet because I didn't want to go over the same things, that he had 2 wives that died on his watch mysteriously. One of them, both of them, I think it's just really wild circumstances how they died. I never had a girlfriend die. Not on my watch. Unbelievable. He's had 2 die. You know what? But we're not going to say it. But I know what happened. What are the odds? So Bob Lazar could be a murderer. He could be. He could have gotten away with murder. Ran a brothel. Stole government property. Allegedly stole Element 115. Allegedly. Right? Done some illegal things on the road. We know that. And lastly, there's no evidence. There's nothing you could show me that Bob Lazar worked at Area 51 or S4, worked on UFOs. You just can't do it. And that's why you can't believe the story. It's a story. He's no different. You know what it is? Jeremy Corbell telling the Bob Lazar story is the same thing as Grush going and swearing on the Bible, doing his little thing there, telling us the story. There's nothing different. There's no evidence. And even if there is evidence, you get to a point where you can't move forward. You're done. You're blocked. The government blocks you at every turn. There's no way you're getting in. There's no way you're getting the information you want. Ever. I would say the Bob Lazar case should be closed at this point. There's no reason anybody should be talking about Bob Lazar ever again, unless you're new Unless you just got here and you know, hey, who's this guy I just heard about? Look it up. I'm not going over it, but sad. You know, because what if he is the true guy? See, the way it all happened it didn't work. Doesn't work for somebody who's truthful. I'm going to go public. See, and that was popular back then. Trying to get on TV, trying to come up with a great story. Who knows why Bob Lazar did what he did? What makes the most sense? What makes the most sense? That he worked there for a little while, brought his friends out to watch some sightings that he shouldn't have brought friends to, and they got pissed at him. Yeah. And you know what? That's the guy you hired. You hired a recluse. What did you expect? A guy with the brothel, he's around drugs and dirty money, right? He does things illegally to cars on the road. We all know that. You know what I mean. He's going down the road 130 miles an hour in a rocket. That's who you got. And he had a couple of women, you know, bit the dirt or the dust. I never had one die on me. He's had two. Two of his, one was, I think he was getting divorced, and the other one, she wasn't happy with him. Something was going on, and they both ended up unalive. And they found, they think it was this substance that Bob Lazar is one of two people on the planet who know how to make this deadly substance. You know, Bob Lazar, Richard Doty, Billy Meier, Travis Walton and crew, the Phoenix Lights, Betty and Barney Hill, Whitley Strieber, where's the evidence? Tomorrow we have Paranormal Highway joining me tomorrow. We have a guest. I'm going to try to bring more guests on the show. I still have to get Eric. Did I just say Eric? His name is Eric. I would like to have Wayne and from the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Reports. I really blew that. Well, I didn't mean to. I got sick. But him and Guy, that would be great. But tomorrow, Eric from Paranormal Highway is going to join me. I'll make the thumbnail. I'll put it up, and I guarantee it tomorrow's going to be something else. I think it's going to be a good one tomorrow. Well, I think interviews are good. Here, let me pull this up real quick. I want to show you something. Why I think this is going to be a good show tomorrow. Not just because he's coming on, but he's got a nice channel. He does some really good stuff on here. Check it out. Seriously, I mean, you can tell a lot by somebody and their channel. How much care do they put into it? Are their thumbnails clean? You know, how many are they putting out? It's got over 16,000 subscribers. We've got Bigfoot over here. This is somebody who's getting out there and doing this. You know, look at this. Haunted Cemetery. Investigating the Black Diamond Cemetery. So, Bigfoot in Canada. Look at this. UFO Staten Island. Hey, that's where I was born. Zach Bagans, the star of Ghost Adventures, is better than you. Huh? Wow, we're going to have some fun tomorrow. I got to watch some of these. I'm Bob Lazar. My IQ is Area 51. What? Well, we're going to have a good one tomorrow night, so don't forget to join us here. That's who's coming on. Should be good. Should be good. And as always, what do we do? Truthology for you five. Truthology for ufology. For you. For you. All right, we'll be back tomorrow with Paranormal Highway. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific, right here on YouTube. Goofon says, be good, love thyself, and alien bless, which is AB. So when you say AB, it's alien bless. Giddy up.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
What was in the skies of Whistleblower? And why did it sound like one of the most treasured sites in Christianity?